Temperatures are going to drop. We've got some rain coming in tonight. We're going to talk about all things cold weather related. We're going to try to save you some money and keep you safe at your home. Welcome inside the comfy confines of the Channel 13 studios for a Wednesday night. I'm Scott. We'll get with Angela in a moment. Want to let you know our big story coverage is all about how to stay warm during the winter. We've got some tips for you. Friend of the show, Emily Longnecker, will be along here in a moment, give you an update on how her story is going. It's a sad story, but it is an important story that we want you to see tonight at 11 o'clock. Let us know where you're watching Facebook Live tonight, and we'll go ahead and give you a shout out over the next few minutes. But breaking news from Angela's house tonight, Chewy is sick?
Chewy has an upset stomach. But speaking of Chewy, you know, I posted today about how low our thermostat got last night.
And I saw your
61.
Thermostat, 61.
I had a couple people comment that that's too cold for Chewy. And I'm curious if that's true.
I don't know. That's too cold for me. I'm not sure about Chewy. You don't put Chewy in a little sweater, do you?
No, no. But I mean, she does have fur, and it's not like I'm leaving her out below zero or in 100-degree heat. But I found it interesting. A couple people commented that 61 was too cold for her. So
what do you do for a dog that's got an upset stomach? Do you have medicine?
No, I just wake up at 3 a.m. to take her out, and then again at 7 a.m. to take her out.
That's a lot of fun.
And then hope
to
it
get
works
out there.
its way through her system. But
All right. So if you have to wake up in the middle of the night, will there be rain, or does the rain come tomorrow afternoon?
Middle of the night, no, but it will be here before tomorrow afternoon. So plan accordingly. I really thought we might get a couple of dry hours early in the day, and now it's looking like this one is knocking on our doorstep. So start to finish tomorrow, there's going to be a chance for some rain. And here's kind of a big view of the radar. Heaviest rain and really the threat for some stronger to severe storms sits south of the Ohio River. So for us, we're waiting to see how all of this holds together. But right now, it looks like the majority of it starts to move our way the next few hours and should be here first thing tomorrow morning. Local analysis looks a little different than it did the last 24 hours. Has the steadier rain arriving a little earlier. Best chance for a dry hour or two will be north and east of Indianapolis, but this really fills in pretty quick. And most of us are dealing with rain by mid to late morning. A rainy lunchtime and a soggy and breezy Thursday is what we have in the forecast. And right now, this continues into Friday and may even linger into the early start of the weekend. So hopefully you took advantage of the last couple of days, had a couple of dry days in a row. You'll need the umbrella tomorrow and Friday. All
right, we've got our Facebook friends checking in tonight. Sherry, hi from Arizona. We're going to be 31 tonight.
Ooh, that's chilly.
So
a higher elevation maybe.
I bet they turn on the heat there in Arizona when it's 31.
And now I'm worried about Chewy, so I'm going home to turn it on to at least 65.
Okay, Judy from saying hey from Central Florida. Teresa is watching tonight. Liz saying they're wearing at least a 10-degree coat, referring to dogs, perhaps.
I appreciate that. So my 61 would be 71, and that's not too cold for her.
And Liz, where you been? Liz is one of our normal viewers. Liz, we haven't heard from you in a while. Liz maybe is on vacation or has got other plans.
We're glad you're back.
Liz, we're glad you are back.
Well, we did leave her for a week.
Well, that's true.
Last week there was no Facebook Live, so Liz, I don't blame you for giving up on us.
We've got Ralph from Alabama tonight, so roll tide. And Brenda from Tipton tonight. Renita says it's too cold for her too. And Robin says, so sorry, Angela, if it's a tummy problem for your dog, try Pepcid. Have you ever tried Pepcid?
I have not. That's a good idea.
All right, give us your dog owners, if you've had issues with your dogs and tummy problems, go ahead and list in the comment section what Angela and her husband should be doing tonight. All right, let's go ahead and talk about our big story. We'll get back with Angela in a moment. We do want to talk about the temperatures that will eventually, obviously, be going down. And really a sad story from Emily Longnecker tonight, but a very important story that we want you to hear. Emily, tell us a little bit about the big story that we're going to see tonight at 11 o'clock.
Well, there was a fire today on East 32nd Street, Scott, and 2 homes were completely destroyed. So we have 4 people without homes tonight. A woman and her granddaughter lived in one home, and a 68-year-old Vietnam veteran, retired carpenter, lived in another with his sister, who is 69 years old. Anyway, we talked to the Vietnam veteran. His name is Stephen Howard, and he went to run an errand this morning, and he says when he came back, the house was on fire, and they think at this point it was a space heater on the back porch that got too close to something. Police and fire officials are still investigating, but The part that's really difficult is that Mr. Howard didn't have homeowners insurance. He owns the home. He's owned it for more than a decade, and he didn't have homeowners insurance. And the reason why he didn't, he let it lapse earlier this year when he came down with the gallbladder cancer and was just drowning under medical bills. So he's a retired carpenter, but he also works full time in his retirement because, as he told me, when you retire, you don't make as much money, you don't bring as much money in, and it's really not enough to live on, right? So he went and got himself a full time job, and then he was diagnosed with gallbladder cancer in February, and has been fighting that. He said, the pills that he takes, the chemotherapy pills, without insurance, they're like, over $2,000 for a 21-day supply. So a lot of medical bills, let the homeowner's insurance lapse. And he said, he thought he would just catch up later. And here he says he gambled. His words to me was, I gambled and I lost. So, he did talk about the fact, though, that, he's still alive. His sister is still alive. The dog, the family dog, is still alive. So he was thankful for that. And at this point, he's not sure how he's going to rebuild. American Red Cross, of course, is putting them up for, some time, at least in an area hotel. But at some point, they will have to figure out what they're going to do, where they're going to live. So so it was tough. He was very choked up. Even when you have homeowners insurance, there's some things that can't be replaced, right? Like he was talking about things that his mother had given him, a locket from childhood. So it's an important story to see. He was very gracious to talk to us on what was one of the worst days of his life, certainly.
Well, our hearts go out to him tonight, and we hope that there will be an opportunity for people, Hoosiers, our viewers, to help this veteran out, providing money, whatever we can do for this person. And so perhaps there's a way that you can communicate that through your web version, a place so people can help.
Yeah, he did. I said to him, people are going to see this story, and many times when we do stories like this, people always reach out and want to help. It's always so heartwarming. And I said, if people contact me, is there a way that I can give them a contact for you? And he said, yeah. So he gave me a cell number. So I do have that to pass along for folks that do contact me about helping him.
All right, Emily, important story we'll be watching tonight on 13 News at 11. Thank you, my friend, for that preview.
Of course. Yep.
All right. There's Emily Longnecker. She'll be part of our big story tonight as we talk about space heaters and generators and things that you can do with your fireplace and your chimney and, of course, your furnace. And that's the next thing that we want to talk about, because Jenny Runovich had a story today on the news talking about the 5 things you can do to keep your furnace and your house safe. Here's Jenny's story.
Potential savings when heating your house starts at the source. I brought an expert from Williams Comfort Air into my own home. Matt says the biggest way to cut costs, the furnace itself. Annual maintenance now to make sure it's not taking extra energy and dollars to warm up in winter.
Qualified professional technician is able to really tell, okay, is something out of line here that needs to be addressed so that it doesn't become a failure during the cold times.
And if you're looking to replace your furnace, get an appointment now. Just like every industry, supply chains are backed up.
Last thing we want is one of our clients to be left in the cold.
The other big money saver here.
Filters, always check your filter. That is probably one of the biggest avoidable service calls that we have, are just homeowners that they haven't changed their filter on a regular basis.
Clogged filters cost you cash, and a clean one can save up to $30 a month, according to the Department of Energy. Clearly,
all right, let's see.
We're due for a filter change at my house.
Yeah, it could be replaced.
Back upstairs, lower the thermostat when you're out or at night, but only vary temps by 2 or 3 degrees.
Don't set it back a ton, because when you do that, your furnace then takes so much longer to catch up temperature-wise that it then offsets any savings that you may have seen during the day.
Windows can spark savings too. Open blinds and let light in to lower heating costs at least a little.
I'm saving already.
And keep everything off your floor vents too,
because that could keep your system from keeping up in that specific area of the home.
Once those heaters really start to crank, and if you find you really can't afford it, remember the gas companies often will work with you on your bill, and there are agencies out there to help. We have more information on WTHR.com.
All right, Jenny, good advice for people tonight as we, obviously we start thinking about the weather getting colder. And
Sure.
I did get my gas bill, and it's quite a bit higher.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's quite a bit higher. So, I think we've talked about this on the news quite a bit. The warnings that the natural gas is going to go up.
Right.
It's going to cost us all more, and this is going to be a problem.
It is, because I budget for a certain amount, and
Yeah.
I can tell you it was almost double that.
And you used less gas
Yes.
in this period of time than you did a year ago.
Than I did a year ago, same time period. So I think we're probably all going to need to prepare
Right.
for it, maybe not to be double every time
Yep.
that you expect, but maybe time and a half.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. So that's going to be one of our big stories tonight, looking at keeping you safe and trying to find some areas that you can save money. That'll all be a part of our coverage tonight on 13 News at 11. All right. So first thing first, we'll get to the cold weather eventually here in Indiana. We all know that. But tomorrow we do have some rain, right?
Tomorrow, some rain on the way, so take the umbrella. You'll need it tomorrow and Friday, off and on rain both days. We have such great viewers, by the way. Robin and I I tagged Emily in one of the comments saying that sometimes Veterans Affairs can help.
That's good.
As far as
Good
health,
idea.
As far as health needs, and
Yep.
willing to, if Emily happens to watch this back or is still watching, can inbox a
Right.
personal message.
Yep, yep.
One of our viewers who's willing to maybe
That's
help
good.
make a connection. So
That's really
and
good.
a couple of others, pointed out veterans. We need
Right.
to make sure they're all right.
And what are you going to do about Chewy tonight? What's the plan?
Chewy, well,
Chewy's got the tummy issues
yeah.
if you're just joining us
but
tonight.
God bless her. At least she barks at me and doesn't do it on the floor. That's all I can say. Even if it's 3 a.m., out I'll go. And
She's like, look, I'll take care of my business
Yeah,
and my upset
just
stomach outside.
outside,
just let me out.
let me out. And
Yeah.
so I was very appreciative of that. The 3 a.m. was really early.
All right, we will hope Chewy has a
Thank
better night tonight. All right, we hope you've had a better night, and we will see you tonight on 13 News at 11 o'clock. Thanks for joining us here on Facebook Live.